Here in Littlejohn Coliseum, the Clemson Tigers return home to take on that other Miami, the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio, out of the Mid-American Conference. Hi, everybody, and welcome in with Terrence Oglesby, Pete Hannity with you. And a Clemson team boosted by that overtime win Saturday in Atlanta against Drake. They'll face a really experienced Miami squad tonight. They're led by a senior guard from Brad Brownell's hometown of Evansville, Indiana, Mekhi Larry.
I'm going to call this game the sub-6 foot special. Mekhi Larry is terrific. He's a big-time scorer, only about 5'7", but small on stature, big on game. Put up 23 points against Georgia Tech in their upset win in the first game of the season. He's going to look to get off early and often tonight against Clemson. And for Clemson, who else but my main man, Nick Honor, the captain on the floor, the coach on the floor. He never turns the ball over, and he always seems to be in the right spot. Oh, and did I mention over 11 points a game, and he's shooting fantastic percentages. I love the way he's been playing here in the early going. He's going to need a big game for this Clemson team to beat a team in Miami that has a lot of older players.
So here we go, second all-time meeting between the Tigers and the Miami Red Hawks out of Oxford, Ohio, a little bit north of Cincinnati. First meeting in Kansas City, Missouri, 1997 NCAA tourney. Tigers got a 12-point win then on their way to the Sweet 16. They're 8-2 all-time against teams out of the MAC. Shot clock under 10. Hunter Tyson driving inside on Delonte Brown. There's Hall. Down to 32% beyond the arc. Brad Brownell says he doesn't want to necessarily see him live out there, but hey, it's good when you have a big man who can knock him down.
Well, he's been a pleasant surprise from the perimeter, an excellent shooter that last season didn't get to see a whole lot of court time because of the presence of Amir Sims. This year, he settled into a role for this Tigers team and done a nice job being the focal point of the offense. He's going to have his hands full tonight against P.J. Hall, but his strength, especially on the interior defensive side of the ball, is terrific.
Now it's Bohannon, little baby hook in front of the basket.
With a really emotional way of approaching his guys. The guys really enjoy playing for him. And he's got Miami of Ohio rolling. Last season was their first winning season in over 8 years.
Well, the big guy hit one just inside the arc moments ago. Now he's got a three-pointer, and the Tigers build a 4-point advantage once again.
You're not going to see Miami get too sped up in the half court. They're going to take their time and get good shots.
MyJ White leads them at 52% on threes. As you noted in our open, not a whole lot of size among the starting guards. You see Alex Hemingway, top of your screen, had a big game Saturday, and the beat goes on for him after he was 4 of 6 against Drake beyond the arc. The key is getting stops and trying to stop the likes of one of the top scorers in the MAC in Day Grant. We're even up at 14 apiece.
You know, a lot of people look over the MAC, Pete, and they shouldn't. The MACtion is where it's at a lot of times in middle America. It is really high-level basketball, and it's excellent. The coaches in that conference do an excellent job, and it's really well scouted. This could very well be a quality win for a Clemson team if they're able to advance through tonight.
Shefflin ending a 6-0 Miami run to beat the shot clock. Larry and Collins the rebound. Pushing the pace. Hall, nice catch, nice finish. And Clemson moves back in front.
Man, P.J. Hall, his hands are incredible. He can be running full speed, catch the ball behind him, and still finish. Really talented in the open court. Nice pass, or not a great pass by David Collins, but he was still able to get it there because P.J. has such quality hands.
And that time, McNamara averages 3.8 a game, but hits 42% from the field. Ties things up at 20 apiece.
Another quality offensive possession by Miami, Ohio. And there's going to be times, too, and that's, oh, he picked it up and he drew. You got to be able. I thought if he actually picked it up and kept dribbling, it would have been okay. But what a catch in transition. David Collins does a nice job picking it up. Bad pass, but great catch and finish by P.J. Just a quality athlete. He's got mitts for hands, Pete. A little too long if you're Clemson.
Here's Dawes, his first three of the night and his first points, and Alamir Dawes able to make it a 27-25 game. They got limited to 4 in their heartbreaking loss in Terre Haute, Indiana in their last game. Honor driving inside, count it, and he's fouled.
Well, I don't get to say this often, Pete, but Nick Honor used his physicality to get over top of Mekhi Larry. Nice job driving left, and then he gets his shoulders on top. You're going to see nice jab step, and he gets his balance and keeps his shoulders on top, able to finish.
Minute and a half to go in the opening half. Plenty coming your way at halftime, so stay tuned. Honor on a nice feed by Bohannon. Looked like he was too far under, but he's able to shed Larry. And Nick Honor picks up the pace. 5 points here in this stretch. Clemson back in front, 6 lead change of the opening half.
And he did a nice job of getting rid of Mijah White with his eyes. You're going to be able to see it on a replay if we're able to show it. Nice job staying patient even though he's close to the basket.
Larry has yet to score. Second leading scorer for Miami on this team, nearly 15 a game. On the wing, Brown no, Beck. Shot clock winds down, doesn't realize it, and it'll be another turnover.
That's part of it. Nice defensive possession, a little bit of a stumble.
So Nick Honor, and you mentioned, with some nice work in a lot of ways.
Well, he does a nice job getting down. Well, he catches this ball on a nice pass from Naz Bohannon, and look at the weak side. Since he's looking out at Alamir Dawes, he feels like he has to retreat, opens himself wide open for a layup.
Hemingway, 6 of his past 8 on three-point attempts. Dawes just picked up his first foul of the half. Redhawks play for a final shot. Brown kicks in the corner. White, big three for the best long-range marksman for the Miami Redhawks, making it a 1-point game at the half. Tigers 5-2 this season when leading at the break. Miami 0-2 when they trail. We come back with halftime here in Littlejohn after this. With Terrence Oglesby, Pete Hannity with you. A first half in which Clemson shot nearly 50%, has 36 points on the board, but something I know Brad Brownell's probably talking about in the locker room right now. They're still trying to find their flow offensively.
Well, it was P.J. Hall early. It was Alex Hemingway late. This team's kind of sputtered when it comes to moving the basketball from side to side. When they've been really good this year, Pete, in games that me and you have called, that ball has moved quick, and the players have moved quick. Seems like they're a little slow out of the gate so far.
And against a Miami team, good man-to-man defensive ball club, and a team that comes in with a lot of confidence. They already have a win on an ACC floor this year. They wanted Georgia Tech in Atlanta in their season opener. And save for a bounce or two, they might come in here having won their past 2 instead of on a 3-game skid. They've played a lot of folks tough this season.
Well, last game against Georgia Tech, when they upset them, it was Makai Larry. This game, it's been Day-Day Grant, and he has done it in a multitude of ways, whether it be off the dribble in isolation situations or getting all the way to the rack. We're stopping and popping from 3. He's been really, really good, and he's given the Redhawks a go-to score. But this has been a defensive game so far. The only thing that you're going to complain about if you're Brad Brownell, your initial scouting report defense has been good, but at the end of the possession, you have to contest shots. Redhawks have made them pay for closing out a little bit too short.
Grant, the lone double-figure scorer with 11 points in the contest for Miami. Opening half stats, and generally speaking, a team that you know is going to be very efficient with the ball. Miami of Ohio under 10 turnovers a game. Well, the Tigers have done a pretty good job on their end being efficient with the basketball as well.
Well, they're creating for each other, sure, but the initial offense, the first 2 or 3 passes, the movement hasn't been as crisp. But still, you have to applaud the effort to move the basketball into shots. Clemson doing a nice job there. And Miami of Ohio, they've been scoring a little bit differently, Pete. A lot of isolation scoring, and Day-Day Grant has spearheaded their attack.
And a Tiger team that's given it up just 6 times so far. It's about on their season average. Miami 4 turnovers in the first half. Oh, they're watching intently at what's going on the court, and we've got something you'll want to see. A look back at Clemson's men's soccer national title win when we come back here in Littlejohn. Time of the past 3 games, a 1-point lead on the Redhawks of Miami of Ohio out of the Mid-American Conference. Here at the break as halftime continues with Terrence Oglesby, Pete Hannity with you. Clemson fans hoping for a win tonight. What a big win Clemson fans got to witness on Sunday, whether they're up near Raleigh in Cary, North Carolina, or whether they were watching as the men's soccer team took on the Washington Huskies for the national championship. Tigers back in the title game for the first time since 2015, and less than 30 seconds in, a whiff by the Huskies goalkeeper, and there was Isaiah Reed, young guy who hadn't done a whole lot of scoring this season, but boy, made to order. Clemson only had 2 shots on goal for the entire match. They made both of them courtesy of that guy right there. Making them proud in Rock Hill was Reed. A great feed later on in the opening half by Charlie Asensio. Given the assist on the header by Isaiah Reed. Tigers led 2-0. They got great play in the goal by George Marks, who had a couple of saves, and a Clemson team that goes on to win the national title match 2-0, defeating 3 of the top 4 seeds for their final 3 victories in the NCAA tourney, bringing home a 3rd men's soccer championship for the program, the first since 1987. What a moment it was. What a great job by George Marks, the goalkeeper for Clemson. Mike Noonan, he told a story after the match that his brother won a national title when he played at Duke back in the 80s, and it always flashed his ring at the holidays. And Mike said, when I get down to this job at Clemson I'm taking a decade ago, Noonan said that I'm eventually going to have a ring to show you. And in this holiday season, the Clemson Tigers and their head coach Mike Noonan and the entire staff all have national championship rings to show off for friends and family and for Tiger Nation. Earlier here in the arena, they acknowledged the team, many of the players on hand for that. Makes you proud to follow Clemson and see a national championship, this time in that other football. Halftime continues here at Littlejohn Coliseum. Tigers up by a point. We come back with more after this. I.J. White, shot clock at 10. Here's Larry trying to work away from Dawes. He gets a lot of attention. Shot clock at 5. Back to Larry.
Oh my goodness. I was about to say a huge, I mean, a great way to start out your defense in the second half. And Larry doesn't care. He's able to knock down a shot over high hands.
Again, kind of that stagnation we saw offensively by the Tigers in the first half. We've witnessed to start the second half. They've yet to score since coming out of the locker room, but Collins able to end that in a hurry.
Only 5 points after that 3-point attempt, but he's somebody that the Tigers have really benefited from bringing that additional score to the guys that they brought back from last season.
Other end, wow. Makai Larry was on his way down as he got that one to go.
What a tough finish. What a tough finish. Just another creative finisher despite being a little bit undersized.
Wide open Hall. Long rebound Honor. And the foul will be called. Brown likes to shoot it from outside as well. Hits him at 44%, second on their team, and the biggest lead of the night for the visiting Red Hawks.
And you're so worried about Day-Day Grant coming off the ball screen that you stay a little bit too long to keep him in front. What does that do? That leaves Delonte Brown, who shoots nearly 45% from 3, wide open.
Tigers in a cold spell, to say the least. Nearly 3 minutes without points, but Alamir Dawes, as he did in the first half when things were sluggish, comes through with a 3rd made 3 in the game.
Who else? I mean, it seems like every time the Tigers get in a little bit of a rough, it's Alamir Dawes who kind of figures it out for the team. What a great shot coming off the pick and roll, but Miami doing a great job of getting paint touches, feet in the paint. Even that shot right there, Larry does a nice job getting all the way to the ACC, trying to finish over the top. But it seems like Miami's doing a better job of getting downhill. The Red Hawks doing a great job defensively of staying in front, and it results in possessions like that.
Been in the league for a while. Back when you were playing, of course, he wasn't a veteran ACC official at that point. Alex Hemingway is showing you a little catch and shoot with a turnaround, Jay.
Great job moving off the basketball, coming off close to the screen, giving himself just enough room to get the shot off.
And it's a 5-point game.
And you have to be pleased with Beck if you're Miami, because he has brought you offense out of nowhere. Hunter Tyson with a big shot.
1 of 3 beyond the arc now for the Tiger forward from the Charlotte area. Boy, scrappy defense under the basket. Bohannon, good ball handler for a big man in the front court. Dawes, the blow by and the finish.
And that's the first defensive lapse I've seen by the Red Hawks all day, Pete. They have been so solid for the duration. And he looks straight to the bench. Delonte Brown didn't get to sit down very much. He is the glue that holds this defense together.
Aya heads to the bench, and Brown quickly back in after getting a brief rest, and so is Larry. Here's Hemingway.
How about that?
Continues his perfect night, and he'll try to make it a 4-point play.
And once again, just attacking the catch. White trying to get over the screen in a hurry. Hemingway does a nice job of extending up over the top, and it was actually not bad defense, Pete. Nice job getting through the screen. He pulls up anyway. And that was a heck of a shot. I don't want to call it lucky because he did a nice job setting himself up, but still a little bit fortunate that he was even able to hold on to the ball. 4-point play.
7 turnovers apiece. Dawes. And the putback. Tyson inside.
I mean, that was talented in itself for Alamir Dawes to get the ball.
And another turnover. Hemingway through defenders, and the foul is called. The attention of White. Tyson out front. Hunter Tyson.
A two-possession ball game, and there was no hesitation.
Another turnover, Dawes. Alamir Dawes has 13. He's one of 4 in double figures, and the Tigers build their biggest lead of the night, out to 7. Larry changed hands in the air, couldn't get it to go. Collins other end, little spin. A kick, Tyson again.
Same spot, Pete, same spot. Hunter Tyson, he loves that top of the key three. Both rhythm threes. One in transition and one in half-court offense. Great job, Hunter Tyson, picking it up, the energy.
Got to call a timeout if you're Jack Owens, the Miami coach. His team is down by 10. A little bit of pressure applied by White. Bohannon in the corner to Collins.
And that's a backbreaker. You try to speed up the tempo a little bit if you're Miami, if you're a Red Hawks fan.
Bohannon almost had it taken away by Aya. Instead, takes him to the hole.
And Miami's gotten away from what they do, and that's be solid with the basketball and playing solid position defense. A couple of gambles, a couple of turnovers has helped Clemson push out this lead. And over the last 10 or so possessions, Clemson has gotten back to a great pass by Alex Hemingway. Defensively, Clemson has gotten back to contesting with high hands. There hasn't been an open look uncontested, I would venture to guess, Pete, in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Look potentially here the past couple of games against Miami and Drake. Big second half leads got away. Nice feed, Bohannon, the passer. Hemingway finishes.
He's been an excellent cutter off the ball all night, Pete.
6 Tigers in double figures on the evening, led by Alex Hemingway's career high, tying 17 points. There's the final buzzer. Brad Brownell, Jack Owens. A handshake at midcourt. A couple of natives of the state of Indiana. Their teams squared off here tonight. It was a battle through and through. In the end, though, the Tigers come away with a 13-point win, 89-76.
Well, it was the defensive intensity that picked up for Clemson that completely flipped the game on its head. Miami, Ohio led the majority of the first 30 minutes, Pete. Turn around, they started contesting a lot more shots. Clemson turning defense into offense, and David Collins came alive, as well as Alex Hemingway, who was terrific all night.
Tigers improved to 7-4. Miami falls to 5-4. Clemson now gets ready for the rivalry showdown in Littlejohn, coming up at 8 o'clock on Saturday night on the ACC network. A Clemson team that trailed in the second half and put together a rally down the stretch on their way to a second win all time against Miami. On behalf of Terrence Oglesby and our great crew, Pete Hannity saying so long here at Littlejohn Coliseum. This has been a presentation of ESPN.